Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Let's Watch Everything You Want to Watch, the podcast where I watch movies that Grant has picked for me or us to watch that maybe I haven't been so keen to in the past. The second film that he chose was Lost Highway by David Lynch.
Something that's been sitting on the shelf for a few years. I kind of got the impression that this wasn't something that you'd be too fussy about, and especially knowing how confused and unforgiving the movie is.
Yeah, he's renowned for it, and also how confused and unforgiving I am, considering I thought Nicolas Cage was in this movie. He's not. I don't know.
I'm not sure Nicolas Cage has made it into any David Lynch film yet.
In my mind, life is different. I don't not like Lynch, but I guess I liked Twin Peaks when I was 10 or something, and that said, I don't like not feeling satisfied or you know, I like a story and all those things. So yeah, this was always going to be a good time.
And apart from Twin Peaks and Mulholland Drive, like you're saying, you haven't really dipped much of a toe into the cinematic ocean of David Lynch.
No.
And he certainly does have his own vocabularies and language, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And while it's all really quite nice, there are definite good reasons for me why. Yeah.
Why you're standoffish to a David Lynch film.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand.
Yeah. And that's like
I think you'd have to be a bit rude to suggest that that David Lynch is everybody's cup of tea.
No, it's so confusing. It makes me feel dumb. There's no payoff. It's hard work. But Patricia Arquette doesn't wear pants through the whole movie or any kind of underwear, I reckon. So maybe that's it. They're really nice. They're really nice to watch. The characters are great. I love the start where I think I said this is scary because
the start of the film plays out like a home invasion film. That's something I recognize for the first time. Like, I've watched this movie a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I think it's the clearest I've seen it cut and dry, where I think usually once Fred turns into Balthazar Getty, I always saw the film as just his character perpetually moving on, just that it's represented by a different actor. But this is the first time where once Bill Pullman was out of the picture, I kind of just saw the movie starting all over again with a whole new story. It just so happened that there was a few reoccurring characters popped in.
Yeah, that's how I totally treated it because, well, what the fuck else are you supposed to do, really? But yeah, I thought the start was really scary, but also because you can tell that they've got a shitty relationship going on that's going to fucking turn into something that's going to cause me anxiety, and that happened.
And much like the previous film that we watched, there is that ambience, that dreading tone sitting underneath everything. It's always kind of slightly unsettling and
bit of a heaving feeling or something. Yeah, definitely. I liked that, and yeah, I really saw that as like a second act or something when Balthazar comes in, and I felt like it was a different movie, and I was glad for that first movie to end.
Once Bill was out of the way and Fred was out of the way, and Balthazar was in.
Yeah,
because it does switch tone. That early part of the film plays almost like a horror movie, and then kind of turns into a crime drama noir
thing with a gangster vibe as well. And I love a good gangster with some shitty one-liners.
And then there's this whole kind of 90s tone set by the music as well, with Rammstein and Marilyn Manson. And
yeah, I like that. It made it pumping, and yet
made it pumping.
Yeah. I didn't like fucking creepy carnival man. He just
isn't
gave
he
me the
beautiful?
shits. No,
Really?
he's a fuckwit. What to?
The scenes with the telephones, handing them back and forward. And...
Yeah, you know what it reminded me of? Poltergeist 3.
Poltergeist 3, Carol Ann.
Carol Ann! And the Indian and that creepy man that comes to the door with the teeth. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
He reminded me
just
of
that
him.
kind of spectre, because he's not really a solid, real human being.
And he's just there being a creep. Like,
yeah, I wonder if he's
you're not supposed to take boiled lollies off old men. No, that these people are.
Like, seriously, he should have been sucking a boiled lolly the whole time. You could hear it over his phone calls.
Ooh, gross. No, just creepy, you know, with weird makeup on, make him look weird. But yeah, I don't even know if that guy was real or not. Was that guy real?
Well, I honestly have different thoughts and understandings of this film every time I watch it, and I kind of, it's probably why I appreciate it so much, is I often get halfway through and think I've got it sorted this time, because I know what's going to happen there and what's happened there, and I'm so in tune to the characters and where they fit. But then always there's the photograph at the end, there's the Dick Laurent is dead line. But to that character specifically, this time around, I saw a representation of perhaps a darker element of those characters of Fred and, I keep on forgetting his name that Balthazar plays. Dayton, is it?
Pete. It's Pete.
Pete. If it's because Patricia plays this Black Widow, this succubus, would you agree? I don't want to paint her as a bad character, but she, from my perspective, she does seem very manipulative, and she's
definitely
using these men for nefarious means. More so Alice than Renee. And it is the carnival man, the short man, that element of these men who knowingly go ahead with her bizarre trajectories, where come and kill this guy for me. Like, Pete knowingly went there, knowing that she was using him to kill this guy. Like,
yeah, totally. And
is it that figment of your mind that's going, hey, don't do this. This is a bad idea.
But she's not wearing underpants and she's got nice boobies.
Bing, 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 bing.
I'm going to make the bad choice. Yeah, that's a good concept. I never thought of it like that. Still hate him.
I don't know. And that's kind of the marvelous. I think it's marvelous that David Lynch kind of refuses to talk about his films, much like Kubrick as well.
Because he's drunk and he doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, I don't want to upset anyone, but all right, I'm gonna have to go and read a bit about this.
It has dream-like qualities, and
and I didn't hate it. For my sour tone, I didn't hate it, but we spoke about this a bit earlier. I've got to just put everything aside and just enjoy the scenes almost, and the little bits that put together in a way that works for my brain, because I don't get much from it as a whole. Like, you know, there's no happy ending. It's not packaged up in a nice bow for me to walk off feeling good about. I just feel stupid and confused and swindled by a drunk man.
But then there's these tasty little parcels within it all, like the tail driving scene.
Yeah.
Where Mr. Eddie takes out the tail driver, and
that was completely my favorite part, I think.
Tells him to go and get the manual to learn how to drive properly.
And he tells him the facts and the statistics about the deaths caused on the road, and yeah, I like that. See, that's hard, solid facts there. That's actuality of what's really happening in a moment.
Yeah, I think every driver that sees that film appreciates that that explosion waiting to happen, that road rage.
Yeah, definitely.
Played out.
And it was visually really beautiful. You know, Patricia Arquette is made like a goddess, and I loved the where Pete works in the auto shop. It had that 50s, that 80s doing the 50s noir feel again, like, and
so nice to see Richard Pryor.
Yeah, and and like the color, and it's all visually really nice, and I like all the actors. Love Bill Pullman.
All the performances are fantastic.
Absolutely, definitely.
I struggle with Bill Pullman, but it's only because I'm so well versed in his more comedic roles, and I find it hard to take him seriously as this sort of emotionally tortured musician. Like,
yeah,
I don't buy that, but he still doesn't phone in. He still provides a fantastic performance.
Yeah, he definitely makes me feel really uncomfortable at the beginning. Like I can feel his anxiety and stress involved with her, and I was like, duh, get it off me. Which I like that. I like those like to have those feelings in a movie. I guess it's when they go nowhere. I feel abused and used. Like I need a therapy session afterwards or something. But
because there really is no payoff for any of the characters, is there? Like,
none.
You kind of learn that, did Alice ever really exist? Was she just Renee all along? Fred just ends up on his own nihilistic trip of a loop, and Pete has disappeared. Like, again, some strange incident has happened to Pete, and
yeah. So David Lynch, you should probably do an interview or something about your movies so people can have a little bit of help. That might need a little bit of help over here.
I guess the point is that life is strange and bizarre and full of absurd occurrences, and
but people do sometimes wear outfits that need underpants or a bra.
Do you think you'd enjoy the movie more if she was wearing undergarments?
No, of course I wouldn't. She looks amazing, and
Yeah,
her gown
she's stunning.
has shoulder pads, and she wears stilettos to the mailbox. It's all very glamorous and nice. But not real life.
So, in future, I don't imagine. But I'll just ask the question. In future, would you be now more comfortable with watching other David Lynch films? Or are you still sort of where you were before watching Lost Highway?
Oh, I'm in the same spot. I feel no different about it. But I like seeing his movies. Everyone talks about him. Everyone wanks off over him. I want to be a part of that. I would just be the one going, I don't understand.
She wasn't wearing underwear.
I like that part. And but no, I mean, I still haven't seen Blue Velvet, and I would love to see. I'd watch that, but it's just that conflicting feeling of how I go into it. Do I go into it just going, I'm just gonna get high and not really care, or do I go into it and give it a go? You know, because I just end up this sour and cranky and a bit lost, and like I don't want to go and read a fucking couple of articles about how the movie's supposed to work. Doesn't make me feel good about myself. But I probably will, because I kind of want to know a little bit more about how the movie.
Yeah, right.
Well,
you are.
yeah, but I mean, I figure it's in lots of ways a bit of a waste of time as well. You know, but it's just other people speculating until David Lynch tells me what the fuck's going on. I really don't care. Like, you know, it's everyone just spitballing, and having a guess, which I guess it's all fine as well.
It's all open to interpretation.
Yeah, and that's the fun part.
I think he wants it that way.
Yeah, and I get that. I think that's fun, and I think it's nice watching. I guess maybe like I just feel like I'm watching vignettes that some of them go together and some of them don't, and yeah, that's why that movie and his movies, you know, I don't feel like this is one that I've actively avoided, because I'm always sort of happy to be involved in that, but I can see how I have, because I just wouldn't prioritize this over watching like something I've seen before.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, Night at the Roxbury for this one, maybe. Or you know, one of the many other 15,000 movies that we have ahead of this, but that's why
there's an element of, I guess, I watch David Lynch films in a different manner. You're sort of not in there to latch onto a story that's going to twist and turn and give you all the answers at the end and go, there you are, like you've said.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of merit in its aesthetics and its tone and what it can do to you emotionally. And
oh, absolutely. And it does,
like, it still
somewhat
takes
feel
you
deliberate. You know, it feels like it might be deliberate to him in some ways. But yeah, it's just I guess the approach and preference on that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think in summary, I would say I had an okay time. I think I just don't know how to approach them. You know, if I watch it casually, I'm only half watching and afraid I'll miss something. But then when I sort of give it the full attention, I'm left going, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Am I doing it right? I don't feel like how I want to feel. But yeah, I definitely...
I imagine that's partly that's just an ingrained expectation as well, that you're gonna, when you sit down to watch a movie,
yeah,
you're provided a certain experience. And
yeah, absolutely.
David Lynch
a
kind
start,
of
a middle,
drags his fork all through your meal before he serves it up.
Totally. And I like my meals, and this is actually really true, very all the like different things separate on the plate, and I don't like sauce over the top ruining me business. I like it on the side where I've got all the control. So I think that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And
the sauce is like David Lynch's dark, atmospheric, like drone over everything.
It's gravy. It's the
Yeah,
gravy.
the thick industrial
making all the colours
gravy.
look brown. Though that said, his tone is very far from brown. Yeah, I think that about sums it up in that
Awesome.
respect.
Thanks for watching it. I'm glad you somewhat enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. David Lynch, maybe if I don't look at you like a normal movie, you won't seem like hard work.
Yeah, I think there's probably merit in Blue Velvet. I think you get something out of that. Especially
Nicolas Cage.
And you kind of said that you had the same feeling to Mulholland Drive.
Absolutely.
As you did with Lost Highway.
Yeah, I didn't even try with Mulholland Drive though. And again, I did really I remember like an ending and me going, oh yeah, I feel like I just woke up, and I didn't mind that. But yeah, I think I just don't know how to approach it. And I want certain things, or I've got expectations that there's no way David Lynch is accommodating those. That's not what he's out to do. So
I think, and I'm sorry to leave it to the last moment, but we got through that whole conversation without discussing Lars von Trier and how you've come around, or how you love his films. And I can see a slight relation because they're such auteur films and so dark and heavy. And
yeah, I feel like the difference is Lars spells his themes scream at me.
Yeah,
like
yeah, he's not subtle.
He's not subtle. He's not dreamy. He's sledging me in the face with his themes, and I like that. Even though I know what you mean, like juxtaposition and weirdness and sort of awesome. So absurdity
and the patience as well.
And that thing. But I feel like Lars is got a clearer story and clearer themes, or I don't know if that's the case, or I just understand his language better than David Lynch.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah, I think Lars pretty much says it himself, that he's pretty aware he's a brutal sledgehammer of a commentator.
Yeah, and that's probably my favourite thing about it. But then I would expect that some people would watch his movies and feel maybe confused, and how I do about David Lynch.
And why would you watch such a thing?
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself through that?
Yeah. Whereas it's like a language that I definitely understand and relate to, which we can probably talk about for a very long time.
The language of heavy, depressing films with Rammstein in them.
Have you met me? So thanks. I did enjoy that. I'm glad that that's ticked off the list. I won't, if I watch it again, it would be late at night, half asleep, because
Looking for underwear lines.
yeah, I don't think I'll find any, and nor should I. It's premium Patricia Arquette time, and I think she was portrayed beautifully with all the hair colours.
And I had a great time once again. Big fan of the film. It played out a little more 90s than I remembered. But I love it. Thanks for watching it.
Not a problem. I liked that one, and now I get to wank off with the other David Lynch people that talk about David Lynch movies, and I sort of don't feel as equipped to do that. So that's nice. And I guess we'll be back for another episode maybe.